Not what I was expecting. Morning, crooked man.
He's got a sharp tongue. I thought it would be better for everyone if he parted with it.
Thanks, Greenleaf.
Let's just call it even.
Hey, Sheriff.
I know who you are, Flycatcher. You've worked at the Woodlands for how many years now?
I think I've lost count. Are you gonna come see the truck off? We're leaving for the farm in a few. Thought you might want to. I don't know.
I'll be down in a minute.
Okay, great.
I think we're closing in on the end here.
This fucking line.
I think Snow's pretty pissed with me.
Mr. Wolf, Flycatcher left his keys.
Is everything okay? You look...
I'm sorry, Sheriff. I have to take care of this. We'll talk later, okay?
Good morning, Miss White.
You're late.
Someone's gonna see you, Colin.
What the fuck? I am incredibly confused what that whole thing with Colin was all about.
I'm going! Jesus!
We only have like 5 minutes.
Carry me for fuck's sake! I don't give a shit! You forgot these.
Oh, thank you. It's been pretty busy around here.
Morning, Sheriff. Nice fucking day.
Oh shit.
Shit! Just go grab that, would you? Sorry about all this. I tried to help. Just why the hell did she have to send me and me boy away, huh? You promised me I'd get another chance, but Miss White said I had to go up to the damn farm anyway.
Wait, Sheriff Bigby, I have something.
You know, he was up crying all night, poor kid.
Can you give this to Miss White, please? Dad says there's no time to say goodbye, so if you could bring it to her, she was nice.
Yeah, sure.
I couldn't take them all with me, and she said she liked that one the best. It's a willow beetle. That's a big one. They're cool, because when they're little, they have these pouches that squirt juice at you if you touch them.
I'm sure she'll love it.
She said it was pretty.
We're about ready to head out.
What's it like at the farm? I've heard ogres live there, and they eat people in their sleep sometimes.
God, I hope not.
Do we have to go? I want to stay here.
Well, we don't have a choice anymore. I'm sorry, TJ, but look on the bright side, okay? There's plenty of space to run around, and a nice river nearby, so you can swim all you want.
Even in daytime?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the Monday seeing you. It'll be nice. Come on, it won't be so bad.
Have you been there before?
No, some of the animals aren't comfortable around wolves, so you wouldn't know, would you?
We're all set.
Bye, Mr. Wolf.
Goodbye, TJ.
This is
Hey,
heartbreaking.
Bigby, where's your friend, Colin? Where's the fucking pig? I don't know. He must have run off. Bullshit.
I think it's a little bit more than suspicious. God damn it, I should have stolen that money.
Saying goodbye?
I feel really bad about that. Fuck.
Hi.
Hi.
You're still wearing that thing.
Oh. Yeah. I guess I am. It's not easy to forget. I know it seems like I should be able to. It's just...
You need to let that go. How are you gonna move on if...
Bigby, I know you're trying to help, but this is just something I need to do on my own. Listen, I came here because I have to tell you something.
What is it?
It's about what happened to Faith and Lily. I'm not sure where to start. Faith, Lily, and we had this plan. We were gonna find a way out. Leave the pudding and pie for good. But then Faith decided to get some leverage. She stole a picture of Crane and Lily together. The minute Faith stole that photo, we had dirt on one of the Crooked Man's allies. If he found out, I had no choice. You have to understand. You've seen how they kept us quiet in that place. Can you imagine the lengths they go just to silence someone who had physical evidence?
Nerissa, what did you do?
I freaked out, okay? I thought if I came clean to Georgie, he'd get the Crooked Man to leave us alone. We could just forget the whole thing. Maybe try again in a few years.
You what?
So I told him everything. And I begged for mercy for all of us. I didn't want anyone to die over a picture.
Georgie didn't do mercy. You know that.
He could have been reasoned with. I was counting on that. Georgie promised he'd smooth things over with the Crooked Man. But then... Oh, God. I don't know what happened, but that night at the club, Georgie came back and told me things had changed. He had to make an example of us. We had committed treason. And while the two of us were sitting there, as he was telling me this, Faith walked in, and I had to watch while Georgie...
Wait, so Georgie told you all this? Not the Crooked Man? Back at the well, you said...
I know what I said.
But it wasn't the truth, was it?
What does it matter? I know the Crooked Man did it. So what if it wasn't the whole truth? It was true enough.
So you think that makes it okay to lie?
I know he ordered their deaths. I wasn't gonna let him get away with it because of a stupid technicality. Especially after... that night, after Faith. I tried to warn Lily, but she wasn't with her scheduled appointment. So I did the only thing I could do. I left Faith's head at your doorstep.
You?
I walked her over here, and I left her. Just hoping that maybe, if I couldn't save them, could at least save the rest of us.
So, that piece of fabric I found near there, that was you?
Yeah. I cut my leg trying to get over the fence.
So you started all this?
I just pointed you in the right direction. People like us get forgotten all the time. The Crooked Man was counting on that. When we suffer, we do it in silence. And the world likes it that way. We just fade, like we never existed. I couldn't watch that happen to Faith. Or Lily. Nobody cares about us. Not really.
That's not true.
It is. You've just never seen it before. But now you have. You'll make things right. You and Snow.
I don't know. Seems like no matter what I do, it's just not enough for her, or anyone. I just can't win with these people.
I know it might feel that way, but they need you, Bigby. Both of you. You two make a good team. The way you look out for each other, and look out for us. You don't see that a lot these days.
Snow doesn't really need me.
I'm sure that's not true. After everything you've done for us, maybe they don't want to admit it, but without you, none of this would have happened. You listened when no one else would. You knew when to show mercy, and you brought justice to this town. Finally. Because you brought the Crooked Man in, everyone saw who he really was. So from where I'm standing, you did the right thing. You've been given this job for a reason. And I left Faith at your doorstep because I knew if anyone stood a chance against the Crooked Man, it was you.
I hope I've at least done some good here.
You've changed this place. For better or worse, Fabletown wouldn't be the same without you. You're not as bad as everyone says you are.
I need to tell you something.
I have to tell you something.
I feel like we've met before.
You're trying to place me.
You like my ribbon?
Do you like it?
Faith wore one too.
Would hide her beauty so she could escape his kingdom.
They used to call me the Little Mermaid.
Did Dr. Swinehart ever get back to you about Faith?
He said he wanted to run more tests. I hope you find what you're looking for. I'll see you around, Wolf.
Wow. Huh. That's rather interesting, I must say, that last little bit there involving Nerissa. Jeez. Well, I guess I should just go ahead and talk about the game in general and how I felt about it. I've kind of given my opinion on a lot of it throughout the series up to this point, but I guess I'll just kind of finish it off. Overall, I really enjoyed The Wolf Among Us. I mean, I kind of felt The Walking Dead was a little bit overrated. I enjoyed The Walking Dead, but I didn't love it as much as everyone else did. And it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm just different from everybody else. I just legitimately don't feel the same way as everyone else about how amazing The Walking Dead is as a game. But I do recognize Telltale is very competent and they're talented in doing what they do. And I gotta say that I personally prefer The Wolf Among Us over The Walking Dead. I've said it many times throughout the series, and I stick to that. I find Bigby's character to be far more interesting than Lee's ever was. And even though, well, I'm not going to continue talking about The Walking Dead. I was about to go on a whole thing with that, but nah. Anyway, I like Bigby's character, and I like how you're able to create his arc. Like, it's almost as if they were trying to make you create the arc that you wanted with Bigby Wolf, whether he just stays an asshole where there is no arc, or if he finds that revelation that solving everything with violence is not necessarily the best idea. And I feel like that's a really interesting mechanic, and not a lot of games do that. So I'm really happy that they designed the game that way. And, you know, overall, with the game itself and what I did with it, I'm happy with most of it. The only gripe I have right now is with what I did is not stealing that money. I felt like, oh, that's going to come back to bite me in the ass, and it wouldn't have. As a matter of fact, it's come back to bite me in the ass that I didn't steal the money, and that's actually a really annoying thing to know. That had I stolen the money, I could have given it to Toad, and he probably would have been able to buy the glamour, and he would not be sent away to the farm. And that was just heartbreaking. That sucked, man. I didn't like seeing that, and I'm just gonna look up the version where you give Toad the money just so I can feel like that was my ending, just because that's how strongly I feel that I fucked up on that one. But otherwise, I'm very happy with what I did with Bigby. I mean, the thing I feel like a lot of people make a mistake on with the dialogue is that they seem to be under the impression that they always have to say something. But I feel like sometimes just picking that little ellipses in the 4 selections that you can have could be the best decision. Just not saying anything can speak far more than using any sort of words that you're given. So I feel like overall, most of the dialogue options I chose were the best ones for what I was trying to do. and I'm very happy with what I did. The only and there's a couple of gripes I have about the game in general, but the biggest one would have to be, actually, you know what? To be honest with you, I don't have that gripe. I was about to say how Snow turned into what she was, but honestly, actually, I don't. I rescind that. I was about to complain about Snow White, but I actually liked what they did with Snow White, because throughout the majority of the game, you felt like you were a part, like you were with her on everything. And then as the game progressed, it was getting to the point where it's like your character started to, or at least my character, my Bigby, started to disagree with Snow on a couple things. You know, the thing about Snow is that she was just an absolute, like she was a full-on, like lawful, to almost to a fault. I would have to say, where Bigby, I was trying to make him good, but a reasonable good, where he saw that, like, look, sometimes I've got to bend the rules a little bit because it's helping more people out, and it's doing what overall, what the law's in place to do, is to help, right? So that was kind of my motivations behind the character. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to give a point rating or anything like that. I feel like that's kind of pointless. What I will say is that I really enjoyed The Wolf Among Us, and I felt like they did mostly everything that they were trying to do, and I can't stress enough how much better I felt the characters were done in this than they were in The Walking Dead. People felt far more organic and natural in this game, which is weird considering most of them aren't even human. But they feel so much more human. They feel like reasonable. I never felt once that Snow was being unreasonable with her reactions. Like, her character pretty much stayed what she was supposed to be throughout. You know? Oh, shit. Oops. I just bumped the microphone right there. I apologize. But yeah, like, Kenny, like, was... In The Walking Dead, Kenny was incredibly unreasonable in a lot of the things that he reacted towards Lee with, whereas I just never felt like that about almost any of the characters, if any of them. So that's a big plus for me with The Wolf Among Us. So, yeah. I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was great. If you haven't bought it, I really recommend doing so. Even if you sat through this entire series with me, you haven't seen everything. I'm sure of that. And so, yeah, definitely I recommend buying this one. That's all I really got to say on it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Thank you for following it. Hopefully there's a Season 2. That would be really interesting. And, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and all that, and I will see you guys next time.